Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today is March 23rd, 2026. That's more than 6 years of Torah every single day, finding each other from everywhere around the world so that we can learn together, say good morning to each other. It's just a beautiful thing that we've been doing. You pardon me for a second, those of us on Facebook. I am making sure that we can start with our friends on Instagram. It was a little bit slow to start. That should be starting in a second. There we are. Now we can greet each other and say good morning as we have for 6 years. What a gift. So to Linda, Peter, Carl, and Karen, George and Barry, Jerry, Natalia, and my beautiful, amazing wife, Neshama. Hi, my love. Good morning, everybody. Cecile and Rosa, Arlene and Marcia, Sharon, Carl, good to see you. Carl, amen. You wrote, today is a good day to be alive. Absolutely. Cynthia and Deborah, good to see you. Sandy and Judy, Cheryl and Ashley, Boker Tov. Dave, Jack, Gail and Ann. Ann, sending love to Ohio. Tracy, Ann, and Jonathan. Neil, good to see you, my friend. Scott, Boker Tov. Boker Tov, everyone. Adrian, nice to see you. All right, everyone, let's take a moment, sing a bracha, learn some Torah. Hi, Kim. Hi, Tziona. Tziona, your sharing today would have been your parents' anniversary. They made it 60 years. Bless their memories. Happy late but beautiful anniversary in your family. Lydia, good to see you. Thank you, Penny. It's broadcast 1514. Natalie and Lydia. Okay, here we go. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Jacqueline. It's so good to say good morning. You get lost in that. Let's take a breath, sing a bracha, learn some Torah. Ya lai 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 lai, didi ya lai lai lai, didi ya lai 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 lai, ay ay la lai lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah לעסוק בדברי תורה, הפוך בה והפוך בה, לעסוק בדברי תורה. תדי לי 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 לי, תדי לי לי לי, תדי לי 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 לי, ay ay la la la. So good morning, everyone. It's good to see all of you. I want to send our hearts to our brothers and sisters in Israel who have been really suffering. For the last month, there has been no school almost throughout Israel, and people have been running for shelters every day and every night, especially in the north, but not only in the north, and just 2 days ago in Dimona and Arad. So we are making sure that our hearts are attuned to something that is both very far away, but right here and near to our hearts. In the same moment, I want to make sure that we send our hearts to the London Jewish community. If you haven't heard, thank God people were not injured. But 4 Hatzalah ambulances were set on fire in an anti-Semitic attack. And so we are absolutely with them and commanded, there's no other word for it, commanded to keep our attention focused wherever our people find ourselves and in the work that we do for the wider world. Those ambulances served an entire community, not just the Jews in it. And our work as good neighbors, as exemplars of what is right, that should never be slowed down. And anyone who sees that as a threat or a target, boy, are they a broken human being. So let's continue being the beautiful people that we are, and we'll shine our light until there's a lot of light that no one can miss. Let's learn a little bit from this parsha. It's Parshat Tzav, and as I shared last week when we began the book of Leviticus with Parshat Vayikra, it's a shift. It's a shift in our thinking. It goes from the narratives of Exodus into the grit and the gore and the sacrificial system of the ancient priests of ancient Israelites. And this week, we build on the ideas of sacrifices and we focus on one in particular. This one is called the Zavach Shlamim. Zavach means offering. Shlamim is from the word shalom. So it's an offering of wholeness, often translated as an offering of well being. And there's some interesting restrictions around this. You might think that studying sacrifices is pointless for a world that no longer contains them and doesn't want them. But each one of them symbolized a different facet of existence. And we can learn a lot from that, even if we do not hope to follow the literal practice as described in the Torah. So, for instance, in the Mishnah, which is the first iteration of Rabbinic Judaism, what we today call modern Judaism. So if you're looking in the Mishnah, this is the book of Menachot, specific offerings, the Mincha offerings, chapter 7, Mishnah 1. It talks about how the Zavach Shlamim needed to be accompanied by an elaborate ritual of 30 loaves of bread. And if you think that's strange, the 30 loaves of bread and the entire offering had to be eaten in one day. And that's a very strange thing. An animal sacrifice was the entire animal. That is a lot to eat. And those of us who don't eat meat, I understand. It's a different conversation. But it's a lot to eat. And then you add to that this strange requirement to have 30 loaves of bread accompany the sacrifice. There must be something here. Why must you eat it in one day? Especially because most of the other offerings are meant to be eaten over the course of 2 days, which still, that's a lot. But 1 day and 30 loaves and the entire offering. The answer, I believe, and this is a suggestion by a wonderful rabbi, Rabbi Robert Lieb, whose suggestion is here on My Jewish Learning. And John, yes, John is reading Ha Lach Ma'anya. This is the bread of our affliction. I mean, to have that much bread might be an affliction. But the way that Rabbi Lieb understands this, it's a beautiful thing. He writes, it's interesting to note that later in this parsha in Tzav, before Moses inaugurated Aaron and his sons in the priesthood, which also happens, and Rosa, you got right to it. I see what you write. The word Vatikahel happens. This is in our parsha, chapter 8, verse 4 of the book of Leviticus. Vatikahel, and they gathered. It has the same numeric value as the word Yisrael. And so it is important for us that when we gather together, we remember that there's something here. Being together shouldn't be taken for granted. Being united around the world, that's actually just who we are. And he writes, if the elaborate offering of 30 loaves of bread had to be consumed in 1 day, there was no other alternative, Rosa, as you say, but have others also partake of the feast, thus enabling the individual to tell his story, which is part of this ritual, publicly, because the Zavach Shlamim is when things are good. I want to bless us just for a second to contemplate this. It's not the tenor of most of our conversations. It's not, as my friend Neil pointed out recently, it's not the kind of weightlessness with which we've been blessed recently. Things have been very weighty. But what a powerful thing it is to consider that when things are good, we offer these sacrifices and we gather our community. May things be good very, very soon. For our sisters and brothers in Israel, for the Jewish community in London that just suffered a major attack, for our hearts which have been carrying this weight for far too long. The Zavach Shlamim, this sacrifice of well-being, it's different than a guilt offering or an obligatory regular offering. This is when things are good. Let's share when things are good. May our family, may our people, may our world be blessed by good. And then let's gather to talk about it. How good it is to be together. That's the numeric value of Vatikahel, to gather. That's the numeric value of Yisrael, who we are. And that's what you bless the world with. It's what we must bless the world with. Those emergency vehicles in London that were just burned, those were for the sake of everybody. We're not going to slow down in our commitment to being a healthy and healing part of our world, a world in such deep need of precisely that gift. May we remember that we are one as we do that work on behalf of the one. Let's send our hearts to the east, friends. Let's sing. Kol od balevav pnima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefate mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia od lo avda tikvatenu התקווה בת שנות 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון Yerushalayim. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow, my friends.